Hi. Hello. Whew. Right. I'm just going to make a cup of tea. I'll be back in a second. Gotta have me tea. Oh, let's get me mug. Where's me tea bags? British people understand. Do you like a good cuppa, Kerry? Oh. Tea acquired. Ooh. How's everyone doing? Oh, hang on, it's waiting right here. Back door's got to go open. And I think the cats are lurking somewhere. No idea where. Gary! Right. Okie dokie. Why can I hear my own voice back? My goodness, that is awful. Oh no. Where the heck is that coming from? Oh, it's coming from the Discord, isn't it? I'm an idiot. Oh, right, we're going to carry on with Star Wars poster design today. So first of all, let's find it. Dee-dee-dee. What day are we on? I don't even know what day it is. I thought it was Tuesday for a second then. How's everyone's week going? Anything eventful happening? How you holding up, Moosh? Is that massive document done? The big long one. Right. Do. Hey, Nick. Good to see you again. Yeah, literally, Heather. Gotta have my brew. I do, but gotta have rich tea to go with them. Oh, yes. My goodness. Rich tea, that was part of my childhood, that was. Used to love that. The only problem is you dunk a rich tea in like a hot cup of tea, it just melts and falls off. And then you got a real problem because then you got to fish it out and you look a bit silly. So you dunk, you've only got a few seconds and then you got to hop. And the problem is you can just hop, dunk, hop. I can get through quite a few biscuits. Like a pack of rich tea would last me like 10 minutes at best. It's gone. You got a job interview. Oh, wow. Okay, so what's the role and where is it? It's been done. Oh no, what's been done? I, I mean, I was going to say I'm going to be mindful of the expressions now that might end up as Discord emojis, but there's not a lot I can really do, is there? I can't exactly just hide from the whole stream. Okay, right, let's get comfy. It's a skill dunking rich teas without losing it. I always have an emergency teaspoon. Oh, you've got to, yeah. You've got to. It's even worse if you're in company with like other people. Let's say you've gone around like I don't know, your in-laws' house or something, and the biscuit breaks off and falls in. You know you screwed up, but no one noticed. What do? Do you just leave it in there and just go with it, or do you sit there and start trying to you know fish around with your obviously not your stylus, but your teaspoon. It's a graphic designer for a high-end luxury spa in Northern Virginia. Nice. Oh, fantastic. Hey, Eli. How you doing? Yeah, literally. Literally. Just leave the last mouthful of tea. Put the cup somewhere where no one will find it until after you've gone. Then you can avoid the shame. Okay. Right. So, yeah, right. Where did we get to? Okay, so this is where we ended up at the end of stream one. So we've got the main idea for the Star Wars theme. I feel like we need a bit of a story here. I might throw this in ChatGPT and ask it to kind of give me like a backstory or something, because I feel like it's easier to kind of compile and composite a scene if you've got some sort of story. I don't know. Kerry suggested the name. Was it Dawn of the New Jedi? I like Dawn of the Jedi. I feel like if you go Dawn of the New Jedi, you kind of get into the realms of, Rise of the Kingdom of the Planet of the World of the Apes. It kind of becomes a bit of a mouthful. Whereas I feel like Dawn of the Jedi kind of rolls quite nicely. It fits with the sunset or sunrise or whatever the hell it is kind of theme. And she's a new Jedi, and for some reason she's stuck a lightsaber in a rock in defiance, or maybe she's having a tantrum. I don't know, but I feel like having some sort of story or narrative behind it makes it easier to add little bits and pieces. And I kind of feel like it's missing something at the minute, but I don't know what. And let's just bring the microphone closer because it's like all the way over there. Also, Poppy said yes. When did she say? When we did the last stream, that there was like a thumping sound in the mic. Is the audio okay, or is there like a weird sound? I mean, I can move the mic even closer if it helps. Yeah, it was weird. I haven't actually listened to it myself. Yeah, it was. Yeah, and I said to her, "Is it like an annoying sound? It's not me, is it?" And she's like, "No, it is a bit annoying." But I don't know. Maybe it's her. Maybe it's her. Right. Hopefully the cat's not going to turn up because there's no space here whatsoever. So this is where I finished the end of last stream, and then I did a few more hours on it. And this is where I got to. So before, after. This was a lot of what we covered, but just refining everything. It just is honestly time and patience, doing the same stuff and balancing, rebalancing. The mountains in the background were surprisingly tricky to get them looking like that. It's very easy when doing stuff like that with the mountains in the distance to try and use blending modes. And the problem is, if you do that, you get the sky blending through the mountains. So it's very tricky to do that. The lighting came out quite nicely on the character here. And we've got a bit of lightsaber glow. Audio is fine. Okay, cool. Hey, Andrea, how you doing? Doctor says no biopsy needed, so recovery moving forward just slowly. Yes! Good stuff. So this is where I got to. And I guess I'm just trying to think what to do next. Like I've got to add the Star Wars logo and then a name, Dawn of the Jedi, maybe. That's my sort of working title at the minute. Thank you very much, Kerry. So that's going to be covered by the whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then down here, I've got a bit of space if I wanted to have people or actors and actresses who are part of the movie. So just ideas, feedback. Is there anything missing? Anything that we could add? I feel like this. I'm not a massive fan of this rock in the foreground, if I'm honest. I'm not sure. I feel like it needs something else, but I feel like I'm at that point where I've been staring at it for so long. I think maybe a bit of movement over here. Yeah, this needs a little bit of movement, actually. Or just something. I don't know. Scar. Yes, Heather. Thank you. You reminded me. I was actually going to put a few over her face, like lots of little ones. Battle scars, yeah. Yes, thank you very much. Yeah, so she's a bit fed up. You know, the lightsaber. She's had enough of this Jedi business or something. Yeah, little scars. Okay, right. And there's a few ways you can do that. You can find pictures of scars, but that you could easily just draw some in. And I've got to be careful saying easily, because if I mess this up now, I'm going to look like a bit of a twat. So we'll try not to screw it up. Music. Dust. Yeah. The thing with the effects as well, I've added a little bit of I know Rianne mentioned adding ground dust, so you can see I've added some subtle dust. And a bit of fog and dust here and stuff. Got to be careful though, because if you add it too pronounced, it can look really fake and a bit weird. So let's go turn all the lovely effects off. Do do do. I've got to remember what all these layers are. Although to be fair, it is pretty organized, which is good. Right, these rocks need way more contrast. It's funny when you have a break from it and you come back to it and suddenly spot all these things. Oh, that looks way better. Yeah, it just looked a bit... How did I not see that before? It just looked a bit weird. Yeah, it looks like almost washed out. Okay, cool. Something about this rock in the foreground I'm not a massive fan of. I can't figure out what it is. Maybe it's too clean. I know, I'm going to go around it. We're going to take our hero rock. Go and grab a nice small hard brush. And I'm going to freehand the edge, which will rough the whole thing up. Just because it's so prominent. This is where having an unsteady hand is going to give you a distinct advantage. Also, Poppy's at work today, so sorry, you just got me, I'm afraid. Try to hold the disappointment. There we go, that's better. Yeah, it's a bit soft and fluffy as well. I need to try and figure out where there's a vector. I don't know if anyone wants to do some detective work and try and grab the Star Wars logo in vector format. I can grab it myself, but if anyone has a spare minute and they want to chuck it in the Discord, not going to lie, that would be amazing. It should be pretty easy to get, I think. Oh, beautiful. You'll be careful. You don't want to make it look too, you know, too like this. You don't want it to end up looking like the top of a lemon meringue or something. So you still got to kind of have it as rock. Just lumpy and bumpy. Yeah, that's a really good idea, actually. I did put... What did I put? I started putting a planet in the background. But yes, I feel like it does need some sort of... something in the sky. That would be cool. Oh no. Pie. Oh, I mean, not gonna lie, I would love to sit here and eat lemon meringue on stream. That would be amazing. Let's go around you. That lightsaber turned out pretty well, actually. I was a bit disappointed with how quick that happened. I really was looking forward to spending quite a lot of time on the lighting effects, but doing a lightsaber is just so flipping easy. I could do a couple little things to it, but apart from that, it's pretty much done. Right, we're getting there. We're getting there. Lighting here looks a little bit murky as well, so I've obviously done something there. All right, down here. Do 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 do. Right, this bit's pretty dark here, so I'm not going to spend too long on it. Yeah. Let's get rid of that soft, soft fluffy edge. Oh, this bit looks a bit weird as well. That's something else. Different layer. Okay, right. What about a molten point where the lightsaber goes through the rock? Yeah, there is a little one. It's kind of hard to see it because the lightsaber is so overpowering. Burn hole. Yeah, so we've got like a little it's a lava, an image of molten rock and lava. I could stretch it a bit, I suppose, or have it kind of maybe like that. Can you place a chiseled look to the of the rock table? To the side, were you going to say? FY vocal audio is fine. I have in-ear headphones, but when you either tap on the keys, trackpad, or drawing tablet. Okay, is the thump noise audible? How can I fix that? Burn holds me up the talk about. Oh goodness. Oh Lord. Goodness me. Quick. British defense mode engaged. Act really awkward. Oh goodness. Where do I look? What do I say? Yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe it's the tapping. Is the tapping noise annoying? Yeah, let me know if the tapping noise of me on the keys and the trackpad, and I think I might. Okay, I'll try and not tap on the desk, but if the audio gets annoying, just let me know and I'll try and remove myself somehow. I don't know. Right, scars. Yes. Okay, let's do one thing at a time before I get carried away. Jedi. Where's the character? So I can probably go and add these in the smart object. It's just going to keep the main layers clean. A few different ways we could add scars. How am I going to do this? Do 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 do. Okay, we're going to try and do a technique that is kind of like dodging and burning. You've got your dodge and burn tools over here, but they're they're like working destructively, so you are gonna permanently burn in or dodging is for highlights into the image, so we don't really want to do that. So there's a non-destructive technique. I'm gonna try and remember. I think that's burn. How do I do dodge? Yeah, I've got to remember it's different blending mode. Is it screen? Oh no, there we go. Black and white. There we go. Easy. So we just filled a layer with 50% grey. And then we set the blending mode to overlay, and then we can use black and white to brush in highlights and not really you could say shadows, but it's quite good for doing like digital makeup and contouring and things if you want to accentuate some of the stuff that's already there. But I'm going to try and do some scars with this. I don't have any scar brushes, so let's see how this looks. I'll try and just flick a scar there, maybe a bit smaller. I want it to be straight as well. There we go. Yeah, not too bad. I'll try and do a slightly softer one over here. So when you zoom in close, it looks a bit pixelated and crap, but maybe we could try one on the nose. So we've got to follow the contours of the nose a little bit. And you can vary the intensity of how you're brushing as well. And then we can just use the eraser tool to kind of get rid of some parts if we want. And could do the old classic across the eye. Ooh, that was a bit Harry Potter. Let's try. Obviously, we've just gone straight through the eyebrows, but let's not worry about that now. And then maybe we'll go a bit thinner. And you can always duplicate the layer if you want to make them a bit more pronounced. And then it's just add a layer mask. Make sure we don't really want the scar showing up over the eyebrow. Or you do we need to remove part of the eyebrow actually? Possibly. Are we going to do that? Jedi. Okay, let's make a new layer. We'll try and use the clone stamp tool. We're going to sample all of our layers. We'll sample some skin around here. Oops. Flow up. And maybe sample some hairs as well. I'm not really sure if that looks right or not. I'm hoping it does. Hey, Reese. How you doing, man? She's got two different coloured eyes. Yeah, I mean, this image was AI generated, and the eyes do look a bit weird, actually. Ooh, that's terrible. We don't normally zoom in this close to this one. Maybe she could have two different coloured eyes. I'd like two different coloured eyes, but we need a better eye than that. Good lord. That's terrible. Yeah, I'm gonna try and generate some new eyes, actually. Eyes are a funny one because it's one of those details that you could easily add a new eyes, a mouth, and if you get it slightly wrong, or the position slightly wrong, or the creases and the face and all that don't line up, it looks like a Frankenstein. So we'll type female, type blue eyes, close up. I'll try and drop in some new eyes and make it not look crap. Yeah, that's probably what I'm going to have to do, I think, James. At the moment, I'm at home. I've got the whole, like, home setup. And it's pretty, I mean, if you could see the other side of the desk, there's about 3 keyboards, 3 mice, got multiple PCs. I've got the PC that my son uses. Yeah. So I think the actual streaming setup here needs a little overhaul. Poor cornea. Yeah, I'm gonna have a look. Oh, okay, we've got some. That's a good eye. Right, I'm just gonna try and drop in the new eye. Fingers crossed. And then in Vato Elements, I'm gonna see if they've got any scar brushes. Maybe scar. Ah, got some fantastic scars. Ooh, this one's good. This is like a. Yeah, this one's like a slice scar. So if you're a bit squeamish or you don't like the sight of a little bit of blood, this is your warning. Ah, I've got a couple of wrist scratches. Fantastic. This isn't too bad, by the way. This is quite tame, I think. We'll try that. Let's just have a go. I don't want to spend too long on the scars because it is quite a teeny tiny detail. Oof. Yuck. That looks weird. Right, what we got here? We got eyes. I mean, I'm gonna grab the whole eye, actually. I don't know if that's gonna work. You'll see why in a minute, but why not? If we can go with the whole eye and it looks good, we'll use it. And then we got the other couple little wrist scratches. We'll see if we can blend them in as well. It looks so weird. Giant eye. Right, let's start with the eye first. I think this is going to be the tricky one. I don't know why. It's giving me Doctor Who vibes for some reason. Okay. We'll go drop the opacity, and then we'll try and size this. And rotate it. Oh, that looks freaky. I kind of like it. Slightly softer brush, just so we can blend this in. Much softer brush. Just go around that real quick. Eyelashes we could fix in a minute. Slightly too big, I think. Maybe just turn it off and on just to check the positioning. I mean, it almost looks kind of robotic. Just give her an eye patch. What a double eye patch. Pirate Jedi. Give her a glass eye. Yes, that's what I'm thinking of, James. It kind of feels a bit glass eye, and I kind of like it. The other eye is going to be trickier because it's got quite. It's just the pupil that's a bit screwed up. I wonder if right. I'm going to just try and see if I can grab the iris. I just want to see if I could blend this in. Because if I can, I've got a better eye that I can control the colors with. Get rid of that edge. Obviously too bright. So we're going to darken that down. Ugh. Why am I using levels? No idea. Not sure why I did that. Darker, darker, darker. Much darker around the edge, isn't it? And then obviously we need some retouching there. I've got to name these right eye, or I'm going to forget what on earth is happening. You should teach how to protect your digital artwork from thieves. Oh, that is a good question. I'm not sure I even got an answer to that, to be honest. You know, I mean, I've got digital courses. Even protecting that against theft is challenging. Right, we're gonna go curves. We're gonna darken it down a bit. So we're just trying to blend around the eye with the rest of the skin. So we're gonna go a bit more red and a little bit more there. So you see the difference? We've gone from that to that. I mean, it's not the worst blend. I think this eye is a bit more open. Could I squash that down and make it look a bit more like the other eye? I mean, it's so small. We might get away with it, actually. I mean, this eye over here is a bit weird. Ugh, it's just not round. I'm gonna... It might not be round because of me, actually. I might be the problem. Yeah, just trying to match the shadowing. And it's quite dark over here as well. I think this part of the eye here, is it the sclera? I've probably said that completely wrong. So again, we're going to do a separate adjustment layer just for that bit. To the whites in your eye. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's sclera. So we'll just get that selected. Obviously that looks flipping awful. So let's just bring it back up. Just a little bit. Not even that much really. Tiny bit. Just so it's not punchy white. There we go. And it could be worse. If it was like a big focal point, I'd probably spend longer on it. But because it's not, it's so tiny. It's a cat scratch if I ever saw one. Yeah. These kind of look like sausages. Where's my other one? Where's my other scar? Have I lost it? I just got rid of my cat scratch. Right. Let's try and blend this one. I've got to figure out how I'm going to do this as well. Maybe there. See if we can get a nice blend with a blending mode. Hard light. And then what I've got to do really is to blend it. I'm just going to try and isolate everything that's not the scar. So we don't want that kind of hard edge. I mean, this isn't even really a scar, but it'll do the job. I'll accept injury. So we could try and do that over the eye. Obviously, it's going to go a bit weird there. Oh, I just feel like the eye is so done. It's been done like a million times. It's like the classic. Let's try this one here. I mean, maybe overlay is a better blending mode. And then we want to maybe use exposure to try and match the skin a bit more. It's difficult because the top blends quite well, bottom not so much. So let's just kind of go in there and try and refine that edge even more. Oops. I mean, it's not the best, but it's not the worst. Oh, I mean, it's such a tiny detail. Right, I'll call you scar 1. Scar 2. I don't really like the one on the nose. So and we're going to have to clip that layer to the Jedi. Does it look like the eye's a bit off? I can't tell if it looks a little bit wonky there. Might get away with it. Oh, I think at that distance we'll get away with it, even if it does feel slightly off. Yes, one is wonky. I think it might be the right eye. Can I fix that? I don't know. It might be the left one, actually. Or maybe both of them together. Actually, the left one doesn't really have a catch light, so I wonder if I get rid of the catch light. Might make it not look so strange. Really? This is what I mean with eyes. Tiniest little details. Catch light removal. Now I've got to remove the eyelid on this one. Otherwise we've got a double eyelid going on. And that ain't no good. So same on the bottom. So I'm just sampling all this and sticking it on a new layer. And then I can turn the eye on over the top. Right eye. I mean, this is totally overkill considering how small it is, but you know, details matter. Let's go in and just... We could kind of draw the eyelashes again using the same hairbrushing techniques that I cover in the Photoshop masterclass. We could use those techniques are so flipping useful for everything. Even if it's not hair you're drawing, it's just amazing. Amazing techniques. Right, we'll try that. Yeah, I think it's so small, Rianne, anyway. Yeah, you can't see them at all. What I'll do is I'll duplicate them and make them look overpowering up close in the hope that they stand out more at a distance. Oh, at least a little bit there. Right. I feel like the sky needs a little something. I was going to do planet. Hmm. Yeah, it definitely needs something. Let's look up planet. Do 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 do. Ooh, yeah, like a... Planet with rings might look kind of cool. Got Jupiter. Let's... What sort of angle have we got? So we're looking up at the planet. Let's get this in, see if we can stick a planet in the sky. Might look good. We shall see. Right, I've got to figure out where to put it first. My hero is life. How's it going, Dan? Oh, that's very kind of you, Mike. Very good, sir. How are you? We're doing Star Wars. I can't remember, Mike. Do you like Star Wars? You or Neil Star Wars fans? Actually, this one might blend quite nicely. We've got to figure out... We'll do it on an angle. We're doing a Star Wars poster, so we're kind of making all of this up. Maybe throw it off to the left, and then we could have another one over here. Let's call this Jupiter. Hey, Nick. How you doing, man? Looks awesome, Dan. Caught the last bit of the stream yesterday. Oh, fantastic. We are continuing on. Yeah, again, blending modes are great, but the problem is if we start using it too heavily here, we are just going to blend into the clouds. So... Oh, it can be really tricky blending planets in. Yeah, you can sometimes use blend if to kind of blend it into elements, but yeah, it's not always the most ideal solution. In fact, I think I've done the opposite of what I need to do there. So little bits peeking through. So we're just using a layer mask here. Just gently tapping. I can drop the flow value as well. Just to try and blend it behind the clouds, but then sometimes you want a few bits just peeking through. Once we've done that, we could maybe try a blending mode. I'm not sure. Or I could change the color. That might be a good way to go. We'll go curves, we'll clip it, we'll use it to add more contrast, then we'll go into the red channel. Yeah, there we go. Whatever color planet it is, it's kind of in the sky. So I think we're probably going to get the red being affected more. Yeah, let's try that. Oh, I don't know. I mean, the edge looks too hard. So first of all, I've got to blur it. You can see it looks too sharp compared to everything else around it. So we're going to have to throw some blur on there. Hey, Raquel, how's it going? Tatooine. What I probably should do actually, let's use a reference image rather than me kind of oh yeah, they're almost more like a sun. Yeah, I don't know, maybe something like that would be a bit better. Let's try it. So we're gonna go for a super hard edge. Stamp in that. Duplicate. Shrink it down. Scale it up. Hue saturation. Colorize. And do it like this and we'll gradually blur it. Give it a blur, duplicate, send it under, scale it down, same again, colorize. We're just going to get like a nice gradient. That's probably a bit too much. So we can just drop the opacity, 50%. Probably merge them together actually. And then we could blend it with one of these. Doesn't really do anything. All right, I've got to figure out where that is in the design as well. Ah, that's a problem. Because the sunset layer is at the bottom, it gets affected by that. So, in this case, I'm going to have to move the moon out of here into the main document much further up. Planet Endor, let's have a look. Forest Moon of Endor. Oh, that is a nice looking moon. Oh, Cinny. Oh, that is adorable. Oh, I'm glad you like it, Rianne. Okay, we've got one. And we got another one. These could be our two moons. Where do we put them, though? That is the question. Maybe one up there. I mean, it could be Tatooine. Why not? Let's just make it Tatooine. It's back where it all started, wasn't it? So, well, I mean, not all started technically, but you know what I mean. In fact, we could even make a... Let's hide that one. Make it a bit more subtle. Just so it's not too distracting from the main thing. And how am I gonna... That's what I want. Overlay. We got when you do lighting effects. So here, obviously, we've got a moon, and we're doing lighting effects. You got to be very careful with dropping opacity, because if you drop the opacity to make a lighting effect lesser, it can look quite awful. You've either got to drop it a tiny bit and not go under like 90%. Then you've got the middle bit where it just looks faded and crap. Same goes for like fire effects or glows or whatever. Then if you get to this point here, you could probably get away with it. So if I were to do, let's say this one at 90%, and then have that one at maybe 20. Or I could have them both at 90 and just do something like that. Does that make sense, or does that look weird? I'm not like an super avid Star Wars fan. So I'm kind of, I'm looking to you here, Kerry. Guide me, Kerry. Okay, I'll go moon 1, moon 2. We'll smart object them, and the one in the back, I'm just going to at least blur a tiny bit. And the one in front, you're going to get a tiny blur. Place the bigger one behind a cloud. Okay, maybe down here. And then moon 2 will stick you. Moon 1, add a mask, brush tool. Back to that soft brush. Super low flow value. We can just brush that away. Just keep the bits where it kind of goes around the edge of the cloud. So you get just like a little bit of an edge. Oh, you put it in the Discord. Okay. It's not come up yet. I'll wait for it though. Shouldn't it be sunrise colors rather than sunset? Ah, it's all the same, isn't it? Sunrise, sunset. I mean, it's very, very over dramatic anyway. We've not specified which directions, east or west. What, this one? Oh, I suppose if we're going to go with dawn, yes. Sunrise. All right, just for you, Rian. There we go. Right. Actually, no, we're going to call this Master Moon. Yeah, that's a nice little subtle detail. That's cool. Ah, I don't know what it is. I hate this rock in the foreground. I feel like it feels a bit blurry and the rock behind is more detailed. Not sure if it needs some sort of sharpening on it, maybe. So this is the hero rock. Let's go. Oh yeah, that's a little bit better actually. Maybe just one round. And we need some wind blowingness. So where's me Jedi gone? She needs a name as well. She needs a name and a backstory. Right, Jedi. So we're going to convert that to a smart object. Going to go to blur, path blur, and then we're going to grab this little point here. Actually, no, we'll delete that one. We'll do our own. So we're going to start here, click. This is going to be the direction of the wind, and then escape to cancel the continuation. Speed. Right, let's try and want a nice tapered blur. Yeah, we'll try that. We can always mess around with it. We've got the smart filter here. So we're going to, just the same as you would a normal mask. Then we're just going to brush in around some of these areas. Some of these edges that might be blurred. Got to be careful we don't go too hard on it, because yeah, it can obviously just look crap. And that's quite a lot as well. So we could just drop the speed back down, just so it's a tiny bit more subtle. And then we've got the rocks, rockety rock, rock. Let's just dial down some of these highlights a little bit. Oh, sad Game of Thrones music. All right, exposure. Oh, yeah, that's good actually. Let's darken everything, and then down here I can just brush in a bit of this. Oh yeah, that's better. Shape of the hero rock as well. We're going to go back to that hard brush. All the flow. I'm going to try and reshape that a bit. Oh yeah, that's a bit better. By the way, if anyone's got any questions about design or Photoshop or Illustrator or whatever it is, feel free to throw it out and I will try and be as helpful as I can. Hey yo, nice beard. Hey, it's looking rather majestic at the minute, isn't it? Oh, sorry, I missed that, Rianne. She wasn't a Jedi, she got bitten by a radioactive Jedi. A radioactive Jedi? Wait, hang on a second. This sounds like Spider-Man. Ooh, yeah, that was Eli's suggestion there about having like a chip out the rock. I actually quite like that. I wonder if we could... kind of build on that a bit more. Just add some rock cracks and things. Oh, definitely getting there. Right, Invato. Rocks. Ooh, got some nice rocks. You always listen to me. You make good suggestions. If they were terrible, I just would ignore them, but they are always really good suggestions. And after knowing each other for a while now, Rian, you have established yourself as a credible suggestion source. You've got a good eye. Right, let's get some more rocks. I think because this is like a 3D rock from Invato Elements, it's good, but because it's front and center, I probably should have gone with something a bit more photorealistic. Oh. Do we go and do new rocks at this point? This is why you pick your. This is exactly what I was saying the other day. The image selection is just so important. You don't want to be doing that at this stage when you've got like 50 trillion layers. Okay, so where are you going to go? You need to go under the foreground rocks. Huh. Let's turn the effects off. This is why you name your layers, because if you don't, when it comes to doing this, it's nightmarish. So we're going to turn off all the bells and whistles. And convert that to a smart object. And then can I bring that other rock back in? God, I've really made this very hard for myself. Can I bring that rock back in? And then I've got to try and blend these two together. Because I like this little rock here and the way it's kind of burned into it. And I really don't want to have to do the whole thing again. So I'm going to see if I could blend these together. The color shouldn't be too hard. It's just, I've just got to stitch the edges like that. And obviously we've got, yeah, there we go. Oh, I feel like we can do this actually. That's really not that bad. I'm going to get rid of this bit down here though. Or am I? Actually, what's that? That looks a bit crap actually. No, maybe we'll keep that. Yeah, look at the difference. It's just got much more detail, displacement, jaggedy bits. So now I've got to go to the hero rock and get rid of it. Oh, I'm going to have to redo some of the lighting as well. Oh, Dan, you idiot. It's all right. It's just the way it goes. Let's get rid of that. And then we're going to call it new rocks. Pain in the ass rocks. No, that's not fair. Pain in the ass, Dan. That is better. And then we'll just kind of brush that back in. Maybe flatten that a little bit. And then we just got to do the color. So clipping mask. This shouldn't be too difficult actually. And we just got to balance that exposure by darkening everything. I mean, this isn't too bad actually. Could have gone a lot worse. The problem is those highlights. I've done a lot of highlights and I did them on the old rock. So we've got the fog we can turn back on. I think I didn't have color lookup on, or did I have that on? I can't remember. Shite. No, I feel like that was what it was. Did I use that or not? Oh no, I can't remember. Did I have it on or off? Crack the rock where the sword is touching it. Yeah, that's a really good point actually. Like a proper crack. That would be easy to do. Yeah, I mean we could actually have the lightsaber going through the rock and then have the burn hole in the bottom. That would be kind of cool. 83 layers, 13 groups. Is that good or bad? Is that acceptable? I don't really know. Oh, see, yeah, I've got this color lookup layer. I don't know if I had it on or off. I'm not sure. Right. Okay, those are the highlights. So I'm going to have to do that again. Well, one thing we can do, we'll start with some shadows. So we'll just whack up the contrast. Soft brush. We'll go 20 on the flow. I'm just brushing some more shadows. This is parts where the light just isn't going to reach. What are you doing? What are you doing? No, that wasn't an invitation. What? What? What do you want? Probably attention and cuddles, no doubt. Yeah, so we're just kind of, you can see here, I'm doing this very quickly for now. So we're just adding some shadows. And you want to go really dark, just so you can see, and then it'll be too dark, and then you just dial back the values here. There you go. We could even do like another subtle pass across the top. It just helps everything kind of have a bit more depth to it as well, because when you're compositing images, a lot of them are essentially flat and they might be evenly lit. And if you put lots of evenly lit images into a scene together, they just don't look right. They don't interact with each other. You know, certain elements will cast shadows. Many layers make me crazy. Well, I'd be going a lot crazier if I hadn't named everything. I can tell you that. This one looks a bit... The edge on this looks a bit odd. I'm gonna merge this. Mummy's gone to work, mate. Yeah, mummy's gone to work. She's not hiding. She's certainly not hiding in the garage. You right to shut the door, Eli? Good lad. Bless him. He's like, Mummy's not in the garage. I know, Mummy's not in the garage. Pop's had her first PT session today with PT called Shauna. And we've got like a home gym set up in the garage, as though she did it in there. And now Eli's just like, 2 hours later thought, oh, hang on. Where's my mum? She's not in the garage, Dan. Hmm. I think I've got some... Ah, yeah, there we go. Oh, I've got to do all my highlights again on the rock. No, please no. What was this for? Oh yeah, exposure. Yeah, so we could just darken it and then just start to brush in areas that would be kissed by the light. And just, yeah, always do this with a low flow value for the brush. It's not too bad. You want to start small and build it up. If you're going with 100%, then you're either confident or crazy. I'm getting a lot more confident now at just kind of diving in with it. But you see, all of that was done with 20% and 10%. So you start with the fine highlights, and then if you want to just run 10% over it, a bit like that, you can see I'm just scribbling a bit. Actually, that looks quite good. You can build it up a little bit. But if you go with 100% and just do like that, it can just look a bit crap. Yeah, that's not too bad actually, yeah. So it's kind of the light in the background just kind of kissing the edge of that rock there. Smoochy smoochy with the rocky rocky. Oh, I've got some more rocks here. Abandoned rocks. And I got a rock here with a very specific shadow that's kind of annoying. It's this one here. I wonder if I could actually just get generative fill to remove that one, because it's such a bright contrasting color. It's actually a bit annoying. How much RAM have you got? It says Nicholas. I've got 16 gigs of RAM, MacBook Pro M2, Pixel Phone Gaming. Hey, how's it going? Coming together nicely in my amateur opinion. Thank you. Red Rock. Yeah, we're getting there. I just need the logo. The what's the logo called? The Star Wars logo. I'll look it up in a sec. Vector logo. And then Dawn of the Jedi. I mean, I do quite like that. Oh my goodness, how is it 4:30? What is happening? Okay, Star Wars logo acquired. We will come back to that. Slightly darker rock. No, go away. Go away, Star Wars. Curves. We'll try and just do it in here. Here we go. If I can just make it a bit darker in this bit, in this document. And then I've just got to come in here, and generative fill doesn't work on transparency, unfortunately. So if you're going to use it for something like this, just be prepared to cut it out. If you generate it against a transparent background as well, sorry, not transparent, a solid color, like a solid gray, it makes it easier to cut out. So just pick a background that's like plain, that sets you up nicely for getting a clean cutout. There we go. Right, let's try that. I'm hoping this looks better. Ah, perfect. Magique. I just got to go and add a few shadows. You see here, I'm just kind of trying to figure out where the slopes are, and I can use this to create some contouring on something that would otherwise be just flat. There you go. See the difference? Yeah, I like this one being close in the foreground as well. Hopefully that doesn't look too bad. It's kind of cool when you have stuff that is out of focus, because then it can make the whole thing feel more dramatic and it puts more attention on the subject. So you blur stuff really close to the camera, and then you could, if you wanted, blur stuff further away. Like I think these mountains actually, they look a bit too pronounced. And then it almost sandwiches your subject in between a blur in the distance and a blur up close. What is me mountains? Distant rocks. There you are. Have you got blur? Oh, you don't even have any blur. You poor things. Yeah, we're going to go super subtle. Just one. That's enough. This might seem very granular, but this is literally what I did off stream. Just literally going backwards and forwards, just refining all of these teeny tiny details. You see the difference? This is where we started today. This is where we got to now. The rock looks much more realistic. Right, what's next? Delicious blurry sandwich. Exactly, Philip. Num num num. Oh, 60. Yeah, this computer is absolutely breezing through this. The only reason it's stuttering a little bit at the minute is because I'm not only using the computer to stream, it's also recording the stream to the hard drive. And the computer's still doing just fine with this. If I wasn't streaming and recording, this file would be an absolute breeze. 16 gigs on a Mac isn't really, it's not the equivalent to 16 on a PC. That's what I've always heard anyway. You know, 16 gig on like a Windows PC is, I think 16 gig on a Mac, like the memory, I don't know, it like runs more efficiently or something. I don't know. Maybe it's because of the way Macs are built, where the memory and the chip and everything is just on that like logic board built together. So it's not like you're putting pieces in a computer. It's just all kind of constructed from the ground up to sit on that single logic board. So it's all designed to squeeze as much performance as out of it as possible. That's my lame definition, or layman definition. Yeah, we need a bit of blur here as well. Medium. No, you're not medium, are you? But you do need blur. Distant rocks. Blur. Okay. Right. A few highlights. Yeah, we don't want to go too crazy with this. I need some more shadows on here. That's the light kind of just spilling through that little teeny tiny hole there. Yeah, there we go. More shadowing. Just down in these little cracks here. These bits that would be kind of more dipped down. You'll see here, it just adds a lot more contouring. And then we could just blend the rock, that edge of the rock a little bit. Hero rocks. Maybe a bit more here as well. Yeah. Oh, we're getting there. You can call me Pixel. Okay, cool. Yeah, you're probably right there, Kamano. I'm a little bit techie, but not really when it comes to like proper under the hood hardware kind of stuff. Oh, I can't remember if this was on. I'm gonna have to check that. Did I have that layer on? I did. I did have it on. There we go. Just darkens everything down and makes these highlights look right. I think actually, yeah, they are. They look awful with the darkening. Let's massively dial them back. Ah, what's that square behind? That's... What have I missed? Have I turned a layer off by mistake? Oh yeah, whoops. Whoopsie doodles. Okay, blur. Sorry, Mountain 2. Right. I don't want to go crazy with the weather effects because weather effects, if you go too hard with it, they can just. It's very easy to use it as a way to cover up, shoddy work. I've done that before. And it's also, it can just ruin good work. So we could stamp in some particles and they might look nice, but we don't want to just go too insane with it. Oh, the moon's turned out quite well, actually. Yeah, I'm always wary about doing these particles because you can do this and it just covers the detail. Distressed texture brushes. Oof. There we go. That would be kind of cool. If we added some sort of texture to the whole thing. That could look rather tasty. I mean, we could do actually for the final poster. That would look sick. All right, we'll come back to you. Sexy brushes. Rust. I mean, I could add some rust to the lightsaber, but you probably don't need it. That would have made a good scar. Light particles. Ah, now these can look quite nice when in front of a light source. Yeah, I've got particles. I haven't really got some small ones though. No, that looks a bit crap. Yeah, no, that's rubbish. Debris. Ooh. Sparks. Yes. This is what we want for the lightsaber. Ha! Oh, look at that. Magic. Nice. That's cool. This is my favorite folder, the effects folder. This is where like the magic happens. You turn this folder off and on. It, it just goes from like okay to flipping awesome. Blur. Very pixelated brush, but it doesn't matter if we're going to blur it anyway. We might be able to get away with it. Maybe. Might keep it there as a few little grass strands. We'll see. Laser hits the rock. I'm not sure. Maybe a tight ball explosion like the light bounced back. Hey! Hey, gal! It's been a while. How you doing? Hey, Afif. There's some smoke there. Okay, yeah, a few people have said that. All right, let's get some sizzling coming off the rock. Some shizzle. Um, we talked about the lightsaber going through before, didn't we? I think I spelled brooch wrong. Like, I spelled brooch. Is that right? Yeah. I spelled it wrong. Whoops. This design looks warm but feels cool. Nice. I like what you did there, Fief. Very good. Now we've got to make the lightsaber go through the flipping floor. Right. Let's stick it up here for now. I'm going to try and wiggle it. Is my computer working? Oh, whoops. That's not what I want. Oh no, it's just a beam. Oh, this should be easy. Just got to make sure I line it up. And then all the way back to the top, we'll grab that soft brush. Try and brush it in roughly where it's going to go, and then I'm going to drop the flow to a low value and just yeah, we don't want any transparency or anything here. And then I need a new burn hole. Oh, that looks better actually like that. It's more pronounced. You can actually see it. And then this bit, we've got the glow thing here. So what I'm going to have to do is duplicate it. Grab a soft brush, low flow, and just brush in. A bit around there. Just where the light is spilling out. And then the beam under rock. Do you like that, Kerry? Okay. And then I've got to do some light on the rock surface as well. All right, so this is, I got my second, where's my beam? Beam under rock. Right, I've got to duplicate this as a new smart object, because if I change this, I'm going to change the old one. So I want to go in here and I want to dial down the glow a little bit, because it's under the rock. Just a little bit. maybe. I need to also blur the whole thing. Just 1 pixel. Just so it kind of goes from hard edge to... In fact, we'll do half a pixel. Just to soften that edge slightly. Yeah, we'll do the same on the main beam as well. Smart object. No, not liquefy. Blur, half a pixel. Yeah, let's just flatten this light glow here a little bit, and then I can add some light underneath. We'll do it. I'm doing it on separate layers. I know Raquel's going to shoot me because it puts the layer count up, but it just makes it easier to turn things on and off. So we'll squish the brush down. I'm just going to add some glow around here. She's like all on the surface, just spilling out. Maybe overlay. Overlay's quite good as a surface glow. Yeah, do you see what I mean? It's just spilling out around that area. That's just a bit too powerful. I'm going to dial it down a little bit. Nice. And then we'd also... So we're thinking about the scene in terms of being 3-dimensional rather than 2. Okay, where's this light going to hit? Well, it's going to obviously cast up here onto the rock, isn't it? Maybe it's going to catch the underside here, creating a highlight. Little hotspot here. Hotspot here, right where the light is. Okay, too much there. If that was a reflective surface like metal, then you'd probably build it up. Yeah. You don't want to do it too much. And sometimes it's the right blending mode as well. And it's going to kind of catch here. Probably the highlight would streak up here as well. I like it too. Nick says fire. Pixel. Feet gonna be toasty. Well, yeah, I mean, I wasn't going to say anything. Health and safety in the UK would have a field day here. Don't think so. That is an insurance claim waiting to happen. Okay, right. We're just going to blast that out. There we go. Blast it out. Blue, blue, blue. Blue for you. Blue for you. Yeah. Can you see why I go into such granular detail with all of these things? It's not just like an obsession. I mean, it is actually, to be fair. It's definitely an obsession. But it's just, this is where you like these little refinements individually, people wouldn't notice them, but when you've done about 50 of them and you've got a stupid amount of layers, like you look at a before and after of the last PSD file to this one, and it's like night and day. Hero rocks. In fact, we'll do a comparison in a minute. We'll do a 2-hour comparison. Oh yeah, there we go. That looks a bit better. It's always bugging me. The rocks look a bit crap. Right. Okay. So that's where we started today. This is where we are after 2 more hours. Ah, I mean, I think it's so much better. I think having that rock in the foreground made the biggest difference. I think I like the light going through the lightsaber. I think it looks cool. I think maybe the lighting needs a bit more tweaking down here. It might be too pronounced or a bit too soft, maybe. I'm not sure. And the rock needs a. Does it need a crack or a split? I don't know. Or just a clean lightsabery hole. Just trying to add a bit more to that sort of burn hole. Oh, actually, that does make a difference. I should probably do that under here as well. Burn hole, outer, top, burn hole, outer. Yeah, I can't spell. Bottom. Right. Grass. Oh, I don't know. Grass or no grass? I think I like the idea of grass. I'm not sure if I love the implementation though. It's too dark. Yeah, it's too dark. This one here. There you go. That's better. There you go. See there, it just looked a bit murky. I always keep that black and white layer at the top just because it gives me a chance to check it and balance the exposure if I need to. So you can see here that I think it's looking pretty tight actually. Like, you know, the brighter areas, we've got the whole thing with balancing the exposure is you want the, like, let's just say the blacks, the grays, and the whites. So the shadows, midtones, and highlights to match. So the darkest part of the rocks here should match the darkest part of the subject. So if I sort of eyedrop a tool, you know, this isn't an exact science, but you see here where the selection is? I'm going down here, my shadows, they're pretty matched. And then if I were to go midtones, obviously you can see as I'm moving around, we've got a lot of variation, but it's hovering around this area. So they're pretty well balanced. And then the highlights would be like on the head. You can see we're hovering around there. And then I guess maybe around the rock, sort of parts of the sky. The lightsaber is kind of an exception to the rule because it's just so blastingly powerful. And actually the whole thing doesn't have many highlights really. A few bits on the cloud. You can see here, highlights on the head, highlights on the cloud. So we've done like a really good job balancing the exposure across, well, I mean, I don't even know how many images we've combined here. We've got background, we've got rocks, we've got foreground rocks, and that is the biggest thing that I see, like the biggest mistake that I see all the time. That's why I cover it, and it has its own module on compositing in the Photoshop first class course. So that's not the masterclass. We go deeper into it in the masterclass, but the Photoshop course for beginners to intermediate level, like that's why I was like, I'm going to definitely cover this in the course because it's just, it ruins so many good ideas. Like, and I did this as well. You rush ahead, you start blending mode to combine things together. You start using the blending modes to combine things together. And then you try and rush it and it looks crap. And it's like, no. You've got to balance your exposure and your color. You got to do it properly, and you got to do it following the process that you've probably seen me do a million times on these streams, but I also cover it at a slower pace in the course, and I'm just trying to find a link to it. It's weird not having Poppy here. I've got to actually like promote my own stuff. It sucks. Poppy, come back. I'll appreciate you more. Where is it? Oh God, I've even got to find the thing. Photoshop First Class Live. There we go. Yeah, so there is the masterclass that dives, like, if you want to learn how I create things like this, like there is two entire modules on photo manipulation in the masterclass. But if you're new to Photoshop, this is the one you want to start with because it just introduces you to installing the software for the first time. And by the end of it, you'll have a solid understanding of like just all of the key features. Like what I'm doing here isn't complicated, really. I'm not an artist. I'm not particularly good at drawing at all. It's just having that solid understanding of, okay, well, this is the outcome I want. What features are going to get me that outcome? And I didn't use these adjustment layers for flipping years. Absolutely years. And there's only a few here that I use. Solid color, gradient, obviously fine if you want gradients, but these ones here, these are the main ones. And then hue, saturation, color balance, they're absolutely amazing. Channel mixer, photo filter, not really. Color lookup is good because you can just, I'll show you this now. And these ones down here. Gradient map is amazing. The rest I don't really use. Selective color can be useful, but it's not something I really use. This can be quite cool if you want to just kind of give your work a different flavor. Oh, that works quite well for this particular one, actually. Boosts all the readiness. but it can serve as just a bit of inspiration, really. Yeah, drop blues. I mean, some of these look quite nice, actually. They work really well with this. Horror blue. I mean, we could. Oh, yeah. Go with horror blue with that. Completely changes the whole tone of everything, but yeah, bleak. Oh, I love it. We could even be cheeky and run a gradient across it. Actually, that's not a bad effect. What the hell? I wasn't actually going for that. So we could have that there. So some of the rock here is a bit more rocky, earthy color, and then as you get further, these rocks kind of get caught by the highlights. So if I were to have that there, push that midpoint up. Oh, bloody hell. I wasn't expecting that. I kind of like that, actually. It just mutes the rocks a little bit and helps the sunset pop a bit more. Go on, then. We'll stick that in the effects folder. The best folder in the world, because you turn it off and back on. It just, it's beautiful. Amazing. Right, any other ideas or suggestions? It doesn't have to make sense. It has to look good. I mean, ideally it makes sense as well, though. Yes, I've got a bunch. So what I'm doing at the minute is trying to be a bit more efficient with how I upload. So a lot of these streams, I'm actually in the process of cutting the streams together into regular YouTube videos, because not everyone wants to sit through, 6 hours across 2 streams of me doing this. But I'm sure if you could get everything that I've covered in a more bite-sized form in about 6 to 7 minutes in a regular video, that might be quite interesting, right? Like, I waffle on a lot over the course of 6 hours, but to be able to have a quick refresher of the key steps in this entire process in a 6-minute video might be quite useful. So I'm cutting the streams up into regular videos, and then they'll be going up on the channel over the next few weeks. We've done quite a lot of Photoshop ones, so I'm looking forward to getting those up. But we've got some Illustrator ones coming as well. Have the robe extend off the artboard? I mean, we could try it. Go on then. Let's just put just for lols. Let's just put long robe. Is that 10 hours and counting? Oh no, what was it? I feel like it was 5. I did one stream at 2 hours 40, the first one for this. It was quite slow getting started with the image selection and everything. Oh my god. What the hell? What is that? Oh no. It's kind of made like a weird bad copy. Okay, that's a bit better. That's... What is this? Is that my strong hand? That's my strong hand. Just hiding in there. Very nice. Oh, now it feels short after seeing that. Oh dear. Funny. Alright. Yeah, I think it was about just over 2.5 hours the first one. Then I did another 2.5 hours in the evening. And then this one is 2 hours, yeah, about probably just over 2 hours. So what's that, about 7 hours in total so far? Let's get some text in. I don't know what font. In fact, I should probably get a reference of Star Wars poster. They probably include a few bits on there. What's normally? Oh no, you posted one, didn't you, Kerry, in the Discord? Where is it? Stream ideas. Yeah. Okay, so it's Star Wars with the outline. Yeah. There we go. Make it white. And then I mean the font, clean sans serif font. I don't suppose anyone knows the actual font for Star Wars. This one's just a bit too playful. Right, what are we going for? Dawn of the Jedi. And we're going to go caps. Yeah, the font's just not really cutting it now, is it? Maybe actually Satoshi or something would be good. It's very like thin and clean. No, it's like a sharp font, isn't it? I need one with a sharp W. And I know there is one, but I cannot think for the life of me what it is. Like a clean, sharp sans serif font. Star Jedi. Yeah, I don't want to use the same font. Star Jedi font. Yeah, me too. We've got the logo in there just because. Dawn of the Jedi. I mean, we could. I mean, I suppose we could do anything really. We could do anything. I haven't got any After Effects tutorials planned, but I am planning. That's a good one. That is a good one. But I am planning to do an After Effects course later this year. So there might be After Effects tutorials if there's like a specific thing that I want to teach. But most of the time, or we could do it. I'm going to be doing a stream on Premiere Pro soon as well. That's something that a lot of people have asked for. And we can do After Effects as well because they kind of play together quite well. And if there's a specific thing that everyone says, oh yeah, could we do that in After Effects, then we could do that. But I'm trying to stick a little bit more to just Photoshop and Illustrator. On the channel at least, just so people don't get confused at what the hell I do. Is there really like a really cool font? Something totally different. That one does look nice and clean. I do love me a bit of Satoshi, but the W isn't sharp enough in that one. All right, let's just put a pin in that for now. Let's put a pin in that for now, and we'll just see if we can make this look good. So typically, it's just in one line, isn't it? It just looks a bit crap. What about Dawn So we'll go Dawn, Jedi, and then we'll have of the. Make that nice and small. Oh, I don't know if that's going to work because of the J. It might kind of throw the alignment off a little bit. So Dawn of the. A little bit lighter. Maybe bump the tracking. Oh, yeah, it's annoying, that J. If it was an M, it would balance a bit better. But because it's a J, it almost looks like it's thrown off to the right. So you have to then compensate by moving the text to the left. So it like visually looks centered. Yeah, this just looks a bit boring. ITC Serif Gothic. Don't know if I've even got that. No. No, I've got Franklin. Medi the Jedi. Medi the Jedi. Or do you have the logo smaller? I'm not sure if it's like different between different poster designs. So like a subtle, like is it always an outline, or do you sometimes have a solid logo? I quite like it like that, a bit more subtle actually, and it lets the title pop a little bit more. Oh yeah, that title's going to need some work. It looks a wee bit shite. Dawn of the Jedi. I mean, or we could change the name. We don't have to have Dawn of the Jedi. I just quite like the suggestion, and it fits with this whole. Oh wait, the Last Jedi. That's been done already. Dawn of the. Let's bring the text down here. No, it doesn't really balance too well. In some Star Wars posters, they wrote the movie name in a serif, and that looked good. Like in the width. Oh, I feel like the word Jedi would look cool in a serif font. I'm just going to try times for a minute. Like Dawn of the. And then I need like a really elegant font with like really thin parts here. I forget which part of the letter that is, but something super elegant. Nope. Do you know what I mean? Like a serif like this, but there's a bit more of an extremity between the thick and the thin parts. Let's have a little look on Adobe Fonts. Serif, where are you? I like very flat serifs. There's some fonts that kind of get like a bit wibbly wobbly with their serifs, and I don't like it. Ooh, what about you? Actually, no. I'm a fussy bugger when it comes to serifs. Drummond variable. Oh, that's cool. Thanks, Dilshan. That's really helpful. Oh, interesting. Is that what they look like? Oh my god. I mean, I gotta be honest. I hate all of them. Is that actually all of them? Like, I like the idea, but the typography, like in all of them, is awful. That can't be. I'm looking more at the sheet of all of them. Yeah, I think I like this idea. I need a serif. I need me a serif. Try something like magnificent. Magnificent. Ooh, no, bit gothic. Hmm. Right, what was that? Drummond. Oh, hang on, is this a variable font? Please be. Oh, it's not fully. The weight, yeah. Can I go lower than that? No. Okay, I was hoping for a bit of a lighter one. Yeah, maybe something like that, but not quite that. And it's got to have a nice J as well. It's really hard to find nice serif fonts. I'm going to look on Envato Elements because they always have good fonts. Right, serif. Have I got that? Jaguar. Does sound familiar. That's a little bit more along the lines of what I'm looking for. With a bit of a tracking boost. So the alignment doesn't look weird. That might be a bit too extreme, but yeah. And I kind of want it to actually have a slightly female touch as well, because this is the protagonist. So I do, that's not too bad actually. I do want it to have like a little bit of that femininity to it as well. Ooh. Some of these look so flippin' cool. Okay, I'm going to download some. We've got Roabla and Rakisa. Let's whip these two in, see if they're any good. I wish that's one thing I could do on Envato, just preview the fonts, because the fonts themselves are amazing. But until you download them, it's hard to know if it's going to fit once you've typed your words in. Right. Let's get you in there. Sorry, it takes a sec to install them. So that's that one, and then we've got Roable. Oh no, there's an ice cream van. I can hear an ice cream van. They're going to come and ask for an ice cream now. I'm going to have to be a terrible parent. Oh no. Don't fall into feminine stereotypes, Dan. She looks like a badass. I know there is.
Could we get some ice cream?
No, we're not getting an ice cream today. Oh yeah, no, I don't want it to look too feminine. I don't want it. Yeah, I don't want it to just be like, oh, it's a female, so we're going to make it look stereotypically feminine. I still want it to look strong, but like subtly classy as well. I do quite like this one. What was it called? Jedi. Yeah, I just don't know if it's going to work lowercase. I think you need the caps, and then we've got Roable. Ooh, that looks cool. That looks sharp. Like, literally. Look at the angles on that. Oh, that is flippin' delicious. That looks dangerous. That lettering looks like... That might be it, actually. That might be it. That might be exactly what I'm looking for. Lettering that looks nice, but if you're not careful, you cut your hand on it. Whatever that means. And then what we're going to do with the lettering. Kind of want to either go a bit smaller, or my instinct wants me to line things up like this, but it doesn't always work. What do you reckon? I don't know. Maybe. It depends how you do it. Because if you're going to have it appear from behind the clouds, is it all going to appear from behind the clouds? And then I've got quite a lot of clouds. It'd be quite tricky to do as well, sort of technically. Oh no, I don't mind me some stereotypes sometimes. I don't mind stereotypes. It just kind of depends sort of what I feel like I want to go with. You know? Gingers and ginger people and ginger cats can stereotypically be very prickly. Or fiery, or feisty. Whatever word you fancy. Oh, I'm really drawn to that, actually. I don't know if I need to boost the tracking a little bit, though. Yeah, that's what it... Yeah, just a little bit. I like that lettering, though. It looks dangerous. No, it's just that one way. Oh, I did pretty well to find that so quickly, actually. Weight of this. Do I keep Star Wars at the top, or do I just get rid of that altogether? How many layers? 102. Shit. Oh dear. Dawn of the Jedi. That does look really cool. Oh yeah, I love that way more. Yeah, that was a good starting point, but it just wasn't quite right. I love the lines though. That's quite sharp as well, actually. Right, let's get rid of that. Yeah, where do I stick it though? Does it float between? So it's kind of balanced, and then the logo just sort of sits up top a little bit. Or does the logo need to come a bit closer? Maybe go smaller? Not sure. I don't really want the logo to be like too much of a feature. I know it's a Star Wars film. I'm just trying to balance things between the top of the canvas and her head. It's hard to find the right sort of balance. This is looking so cool. I would love to put this on canvas. Nice. Kerning between the E and the D. That's where's my characters? Yeah, there we go. You can switch it to optically, and you see it just tightened it up a little bit there. Good spot. You're not sure, gal? I would like... I couldn't find a sharp one, like with a sharp W. I know there is one, and I can't think what the heck it's called. That's the font I really wanted. I want a sans serif. I'll have a quick search on Adobe Fonts and see if I could just find a... I've probably already got it installed as well. That is a really good idea. Adding the rocks rising. Yeah, that's cool. The rocks rising from where the lightsaber is. Or, actually, just a few rocks rising all around. That would be flipping cool. Force rocks. That is a good idea. Some floating rocks. That would be the icing on the cake, I think. Just subtle. This is bloody cool. This has turned out all right. This has turned out pretty well, actually. If you watched the stream back the other day, it was a pretty slow start. The first hour, I was thinking, oh, crap, is this going to work? Because I just don't really know. It's turned out really cool. Right, anyway, yeah, font. E and the D gives me horror movie vibes. I just like how sharp it is. Maybe. Yeah, I need to put some credits at the bottom. I mean, we could. Oh, maybe that looks better actually. I think because the lettering and everything's so linear, that. Oh, maybe I could blend it. Yes, overlay blending mode to the rescue. Star Wars can be just more subtle now. And then, yeah, that's cool. We can drop the. I don't want Star Wars to be like too prominent, just because, you know, it might sound egotistical, but just because this is my sort of piece of work, I kind of want as many elements to be kind of made by me, if that makes sense. So, I mean, I could do my own Star Wars logo, but I kind of want it to look like an authentic thing. So I don't want the logo to be the official Star Wars logo to be too prominent. Do you know what I mean? I kind of like my font choices and the artwork itself to kind of stand out a bit more. Overlay is always a good shout when you're using black or white because it will always blend. If you've got a lot of color behind as well, so if I move it over here, yeah, you can see you just get like a really nice blend onto the color. Right, yes, I was looking for that font, wasn't I? Where's my sharp font? I should probably go and feed the children soon. I swear these streams are getting longer. Do you not get sick of the sound of my voice? Sans serif. Geometric. Right, what's the word? Dawn of the. So, dawn of the. Okay, hopefully this won't take too long. Ooh. That's a dangerous little font. Josephine Sands. Oh, I've got that. I have got that. Let's throw that in there. Oh, that's cool. It's got the sharpness, but it's also got like a slight bit of stylization on the W that I like as well. Thin or slightly chunkier. I feel like that's just a tiny bit too thin. And I don't know if that's just a bit crap. Oh, I do like it thin though. I like the elegance. Let's bring that back. I'm just trying to find a tiny little way to customize it, but I don't know if that's a tiny bit rubbish. Oops. It's therapeutic. I like designing, having other artists in the background streaming the process. Feels like a group project, even though we're doing two different things. Oh yeah, these are always like a team effort. Like the amount of suggestions that people throw out to me. Even today, like with the lightsaber, it was like, needs more burn holes, add the explosions coming out of the rock. Maybe have it go underneath the rock, and then obviously yourself with the rock suggestion floating in the air, which I'm not going to have time to do today because I need to go and feed the children. But I like that on the E. The whole, I think having, you know, when you get the three, just the three lines for the letter E, that's kind of like a hamburger menu icon. I feel like that's been done to death. But that's just like a subtle nod. And I know that doing that, I'm not going to screw anything up typographically. You know, when you start editing existing fonts, it's a great way to get something original, especially if you don't have a background in typography. Like I'm definitely not a typographer. But the problem is if you get a bit carried away and you start adding bits and doing all this, you can screw things up from a typographic point of view without realizing. So it's good if you can. Yeah, I would always just tread with caution when doing that sort of stuff. Just do it slowly. But something like that, just nipping a little bit out the ear, I think is pretty safe. I might even... Oh, do I do that? I'm going to just try something. This might look awful. But let's try it anyway. So I've got my Jedi text. I'm going to convert this. This is a great technique for adding grunge instantly to anything. So we're going to go displace. We'll go 20 and 20 just to get a bit more of an extreme effect. And then we're going to grab like any sort of black and white grungy texture. You see there? Oh, I kind of like that. I like that. So this is the texture I'm using. So anything like that. And it's just a really cool way to just rough it up a little bit. Oh, hey, Pops. Yeah, we're about 7 hours in, and I think we're probably nearly done. I've got a few more little details I want to play around with, like the floating rocks and probably just a little bit more tweaking. But I think for the most part, we're pretty done. It's looking pretty cool. The only... I don't know if it'll make sense or not, but I just love this effect. Do I add the grass? Don't know. Maybe not. And it's this light glow. I love this technique. It's not necessarily going to make as much sense because there's not a sun directly behind her, but if you do have a sun, it can be quite yeah, quite a cool technique. I've got a client coming soon. Yeah, no, the ice cream van has been and gone, I'm afraid. I had to be the terrible parent and say no. Even just a little bit, actually. I might just keep a tiny bit on the side there. Or we go overlay. Let me just brush a little bit down that right side. It just beefs it up a little bit. That's too overpowering, but it can be quite a cool effect. We'll just put arm glow. Yeah. Right, number 4. We'll merge them together. Yeah, look at the progression. So that's where we started today, and then this is where it's got to now. Lots of little tweaks, but it's looking so much better. I can't wait to do those rocks, though, after I've tended to the children. There is a really cool feature as well that if I want to use it, I could do it, but I have to fiddle around with my layers. It's in the camera raw filter, and it's an instant way to make things look amazing. And it's the lens blur. So it's out beta now. It's not perfect, but it is very, very cool. Catch you later, Pops. No, I'm coming off soon. But yeah, it instantly tries to use AI to figure out where the subject is. So I can control the blur in the background. Do you see what I mean? I can just make the whole thing feel ultra dramatic. But unfortunately, it catches the lightsaber in the blur. So what I would need to do is take the lightsaber out the main image, do the blur, and then plonk the lightsaber on top. But yeah, it looks so cool. I mean, I probably wouldn't. I might use it in the end, but I won't go to the full extreme. But it's a good way to just ultra dramify, that's not even a word, everything. Yeah, there we go. Nice. I'm pretty happy with that. Yeah, I like that font. It's classy, but it looks deadly as well. It looks dangerous. I really like that. And it's a bit rough around the edges, which kind of fits in with the whole rough, rocky, whatever the theme is. Yeah, I like that. Ah, right. Hopefully that was enjoyable. If you got any questions, just fire them at me now before I jump off, because I need to go and get some dinner as well. Love the effect on the font. Yeah, I wasn't sure that was going to work, actually, Kerry. But it's just a nice little way to distress everything. You can do brushes as well, but this, together with brushes, they work so well together. Yeah, that's probably what I'm going to do, Lion, on the final one. I might just have that blur just to blur some of the mountains in the background. And it's quite a nice little thing you can just turn off and on as well, without having to go back into all those layers and screw around with blurs and things. But yeah, no, I love Kerry, the Moon Edition idea. That was solid. Really like that. I wasn't sure at first, but... So this could be Tatooine, basically. And yeah, thanks again, Kerry, because this exists because of you, man. You posted that Star Wars thing and said, oh, this would be a good idea. And then we did it. So thank you for the suggestion. Yeah, this has been a ton of fun. The undo snap, yeah. Oh, goodness me. Yes, woohoo! Kudos to you, my friend. You are famous. We'll put you in the credits. Do we need to? We probably need to add who's starring in this fictional movie or whatever. Or it could actually be a book cover. It could be book cover art. It could be anything, really. I got a shout out on YouTube. Now go get some girt wings. Oh, I would savage a plate of girt wings right now. It's not even funny. Right. Yeah, that is that's 8 hours work, pretty much. Cool. Right, I'm gonna shoot. Have a fantastic evening, everyone, and yeah, I'll catch you in the next one. Oh, by the way, if you are interested in checking out the masterclass, if you want to learn, obviously not this exact piece, but this many of the techniques that I used to create this, and you want to learn them at a reasonable, well-explained pace, then and you're familiar with Photoshop, like that's important, that you've got like the basics down, then I'll send a link to the Photoshop master. Well, I'll send a link to all the courses actually, because it's just easier because I've got it right here. But the Photoshop masterclass is the one that you'll want to check out if you want to learn how to do all this photo manipulation, compositing stuff, and all the techniques that I use. But yeah, with that said, I'm gonna play the trailer. So hopefully you enjoy it and have an amazing rest of your week. See you later.